It's never too late to do something that you never thought you would do in your life before.
Hey, Women Thrive Summit is just around the corner, and what I want you to do is go ahead and save your spot for this transformational event of the year. This is where women gather every single year for transformation, inspiration, and also amazing networking opportunities. Women Thrive Summit is going to be running for an entire week virtually but live, so that means you can join from anywhere in the world. And we've got some amazing speakers lined up for you this year. So go ahead and save your spot and don't miss this opportunity to be part of this amazing transformational event where you get to network, get to be inspired, motivated, and truly grow in business and life. My name is Ramonda Jan, and I am the founder of the Women Thrive Media, and together we bring you the platform to inspire you, motivate you, and shine a spotlight on all that you do. So come and meet us, come and network with amazing women, and access some opportunities that you may not otherwise be able to do. So go ahead, save your spot, and share it with another woman who you know needs to be there. Welcome to Women Thrive Season 5. This season, you can expect incredible conversations with women from all around the world. We at Women Thrive, not only do we put on incredible conversations with women, host events, retreats, publish a magazine, publish books, and we have created a platform for every woman to shine and share her message. So you right now tapping into a podcast that is globally recognized as the place for women to be and share their message. Be inspired, be part of the conversation, and let's thrive together. Hello and welcome to Women Thrive Podcast. I'm so thrilled to have you here for another amazing podcast with one of our speakers from Women Thrive Summit. Today we're talking about midlife isn't a crisis, and it's actually your launch pad to whatever it is that you're looking to do in life. You never know that at this stage in your life, this could become the new beginning for you. Now, my wonderful guest speaker today is Julie Waas, who's joining us from Florida. Hi, Julie. How are you?
Fine. How are you, Ray?
I'm good. I know you're quite a traveler, and you live in Florida as well. What's life like there?
Life is great. I mean, we are having beautiful weather. It's cool for us right now. It's our winter. So right now, I think it's like 58 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what the equivalent is in Celsius, but it's a beautiful day here. So life is good.
Yeah, amazing. And you just got back from traveling, which
I
was
did.
phenomenal. Where did you go?
We went on a cruise from Hong Kong to Vietnam to Thailand and then to Singapore. It was truly amazing. Absolutely. Bucket list trip. Wonderful.
What inspires you to talk about this subject, kind of life reinvention and like the next phase of our lives?
I'm very passionate about it because it's really been the story of my life. It really began, honestly, with my mother. And when I was 15 years old, my older sister went to college. And the day that my mother and my father took my sister to college and came back home from dropping her off, my mother went to bed for 6 weeks. And
Wow.
it was really a terrifying time for me because I was in high school and I thought she was dying. This was the mid 1970s and nobody talked about empty nest syndrome at the time. But I witnessed my mother suffer terribly and I hadn't even left the house, which is a whole other issue. But watching her sink into a terrible depression and stop talking to me that year made me think. And actually, I remember the day when I was standing there watching her after I came home from school. And I thought to myself, when I get to be her age and when my kids are leaving for college, I am not going to go to bed for 6 weeks. I'm going to take that opportunity to make the most of my life. And so fast forward decades after raising three kids, I've had been practicing law now for 39 and a half years. But when my kids, my youngest son left for college and I came home to that empty house, I remembered what I said to myself when I was 16 years old. And I was like, I'm not going to bed for 6 weeks. This is my time to do what I may have put off or did put off or try new things that I'd never had the time to do because I was spending my time taking my kids to school, taking my kids to activities, being the driver, being the lunch provider, being the everything, as most women are. Even whether you have a spouse or not, you're likely the one that's taking care of all these things. And now having an empty calendar, I took it as an opportunity to now do my own reinvention and try things that I never thought I did and would do. I started exercising. I started running, ran 2 half marathons, multiple 10Ks. And then in 2021, during COVID, I was working from home and I'd always been drawing ever since I was a little kid. I called them doodles because I never had any training. My sixth grade teacher said I had no artistic talent. So I went with that and never took an art class. And I sat there drawing and I thought, I'm going to buy some art pens and some art paper. I'm going to turn these into little pieces of art. And I did. And thank you, Amazon, for delivering that stuff because who went to a store in those days? And my husband saw them and he said, why don't you sell them? I don't have any artistic ability. You're crazy. He finally convinced me. And in the fall of 2021, I started a website and an Instagram. And a month later, I got an email from the Brick Lane Gallery in London saying, we want you to come and exhibit in March. And at first I thought, this has to be a joke. It has to be spam. So I researched it. And sure enough, it was true. And that started a whole thing of me being in art galleries all over the world. And that spring I went to London. I've been in exhibits in March in New York multiple times. I have one coming up in March in New York and Madrid, Innsbruck, Milan, Venice. It's been a crazy ride, but what it really proved to me is that it's never too late to get started. It's never too late to get exercising. It's never too late to do something that you never thought you would do in your life before. And I sort of ran with that and decided I really wanted to help other women at that stage of life because it's a really critical stage when you hit that midlife time when maybe even if you don't have children, it can be a time you're re-examining your life and saying, is this all there is? And the reality is that's not all there is. It's actually a magical time when you get to do the things with the wisdom you've accumulated for decades. Now you're smart enough to know what you want to do and willing to try it and willing to try and fail because it's not such a big deal anymore now that you've reached that stage of your life.
Yeah, it's an exciting time because I think at that stage we are in our season of wisdom.
Yes.
And when we started actually the Women Thrive podcast series, one of the first episodes, myself and Abigail were talking about different stages of life and how kind of the later stage in your life, it is true, your stage of wisdom. This is
Hmm.
where you've gone through your life experiences, you've learned some
Absolutely.
lessons, and now this is a moment where you can really give back a lot and do a lot. And maybe your diary has freed up. So all of those dynamics really is an exciting time for new beginning.
It absolutely is. And some people say, well, don't you feel guilty like doing all these things? No, it's not a time to feel guilty or feel like you're focusing on yourself and there's something wrong with that. In fact, the way I look at it is you're absolutely doing what you were placed on earth to do. We're placed on earth to be sad all the time and sit in your house and say, where are my kids? Why aren't they calling me? You really, in my opinion, for whatever it is, that it's important to maximize your life and do whatever you can to make the most of it, to help people. I mean, that's why I'm so passionate about this. I just feel like it's so important to live your life the best you can. And not for nothing, your kids are watching. And the legacy you leave for them and the legacy that you create by showing them that midlife and beyond is a time to live your best life is a huge lesson for them because they're going to get to that stage too.
Yeah, and just being an inspiration because what we don't realize how many people are looking up to us at any
Yeah.
given stage of our lives, but especially the older life. Now you may have children, you may have nieces and grandchildren. Now they're looking up to you as an example, like how they may want to live their lives later in life. So it's a really powerful time to be that personal wisdom and person who people can turn to for inspiration and advice. So, Julie, apart from wonderful art that you do now and exhibiting all over the world and writing books, how else do you support others and especially women?
I also became a coach. I'm a certified high performance coach. So I do have a coaching program for women where I can work with them individually. I also it will be publishing very soon, hopefully before the Women Thrive Summit, my book, The Midlife Reboot, which is a book that takes them through a process of figuring out what they want to do with the rest of their lives and coming up with a game plan. I've also created a course to go along with it. So if somebody doesn't want to just do the exercises in the book, but would like to be guided through the process, I have a course that they can also purchase that will take them through with the PDFs that they can follow along and answer all the questions because it really is a journey and it's a journey of self-discovery. And it's so, to me, so gratifying to watch someone go through the process and really blossom, go from not knowing what to do, being maybe scared of what's going to happen now that my kids are gone and what am I going to do with my life and I don't have a plan and I don't have a hobby, to suddenly realizing it takes a lot of rediscovery and self-discovery and journaling and a whole bunch of things, but it's really gratifying to watch someone blossom.
Yeah, of course. And for sometimes we can't even imagine what life could be like more than what you already know. Because sometimes this is the life that we know and always known. And even like you've talked about the art that you do, you couldn't imagine that even being part of your life. And here it is. Like, how just incredible that is. That you can still do that. And life doesn't have to limit, your age doesn't have to be the limiting barrier to start something that you've never thought was going to happen.
Absolutely. When I think about it, and I think about this often because I have a morning routine of gratitude and affirmations, and I think about what a crazy journey I've had in my life that I never would have expected. I never would have in my 20s thought I'd be sitting here talking to you today, much less written a morning journal, written a book, do speaking, coaching, art, all of these things that really started at midlife and beyond. It really started when my kids left the house, which,
Yeah.
because up till that point, I was all focused on, as we all are, on raising my children, making sure they had everything that they needed. So yeah, you have no idea what the possibilities are. And it does take some work to really think about, to dig deep, to think about those things, because a lot of things we put on the back burner and then we forget about it
Mm.
and we don't even think about it. And it takes some time to do that, but it's an exciting exercise to go through.
Mm. What would you say to women who may feel like, it's all great for you, Julie, but not for me?
I'm sure there's a
Sometimes,
lot of that. I respect anybody's decision to do whatever. And I'm not saying that you should become an artist or you should run half marathons or do any of that. It doesn't have to be that big a deal. It can be little things that you can do. But I think it's worth the time to focus on that. And I think it gives you an opportunity to help with the sadness of your children not being there. I mean, honestly, my kids are all in their 30s now, and it doesn't go away. It just is different. And when you occupy your time, and again, when your kids see that mom is okay and
mm,
mom's happy and living her life, and like I said, it doesn't have to be big changes. It just has to be maybe just a mindset shift and a decision to do things that you want to do in your life without guilt, without apologies, and moving forward and just exploring what's possible for you.
yeah. How does that, like your pursuits in life, adds more to your quality of life and your happiness?
Oh, I think it's tremendous. It gives you something to wake up in the morning and look forward to. It gives you a feeling of purpose and feeling like you're here on this earth for something bigger, for something more, that your life is not just doesn't stop when your kids leave. It doesn't stop at midlife. Let's say you don't even have children, but you may be really wondering, is this it for my career? Is this all I'm going to do? And what's next? There must be something next. And it's so energizing to know that when you have other things going on in your life. And I guess I want to think about my parents. My father retired when he was 60. He was a dentist and he thought he was going to die soon. I don't know why. He lasted another 23 years, but it was really awful to watch because he and my mother just sat in front of the TV all day. And I watched them shrink, literally shrink, and his brain turned to mush. And it was a really powerful lesson and of it didn't have to be that way. It didn't have to be that way, and it doesn't have to be that way for any of us. And maybe you have health issues that are going to prevent you from doing a lot of stuff, but that doesn't mean you can't do something small or you can't focus on something that's fun and set aside that time for yourself.
Mm. I work with a lot of women who are in their 60s, even 70s, nearly 80. And as the platform that what we do is help women publish books and speak on stages and host retreats. I meet the women who just so excited about their next decade of their lives or making sure that they truly live out the rest of their life, fulfilling their purpose. Maybe they never got to fulfill, or writing their books, or creating a legacy for their future generations. So I get to see that, I get to witness it, and just the radiance in these women's eyes and the quest for life and adventure and learning, even and growth. Honestly, I truly believe that what you say, it's like a new lease of life, that you have an opportunity, but it's up to you to take that, right? It is really up to you whether you're gonna choose a way of just sitting in front of TV for the rest of your life, or you're actually gonna go on an adventure. Adventure is like getting out your comfort zone, like learning
Right.
things you've never done before. Maybe you're gonna go
Absolutely.
hiking or I don't know, skateboarding.
You're never too late to start. It's
Yeah.
really it's so true. And but you have to want to do it. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
you can't help somebody just like anything else who doesn't want to help themselves or doesn't want to do it. You can't make someone want to do it. What I hope to do is just inspire other women to say, hey, maybe I could do that. Maybe I could do whatever. And there's this old notion of you putting out to pasture and you're too late, you're too old, you're too whatever. And it's so not true because people are living longer. And why
Yeah.
not live your best life? And it's great for your brain. I mean, if you want to keep your brain engaged and you want to, I mean, that's so important the older you get, is to keep your brain engaged, to keep your body in good shape. All of those things are so critical. And that's why not have a great time while you're doing it.
Yeah, definitely. So when people get to work with you, like, how do you inspire them? How do you help them create this bucket list of things that they might want to do? And I don't know, just help them reinvent their next chapter in their lives.
It actually comes down to asking a lot of questions. I never tell people what they should do. I think it's more probing and asking them to look back at their lives, do a lot of hard thinking. And it's amazing the power of journaling. And I'm a huge fan of that. Journaling opens up so many things in your brain that you may not have thought of. And it's really a lot of asking the right questions. I never ever want to tell somebody what they should do. It really has to be their decision.
Yeah,
Like you said, they may want to go skateboarding. I would never go skateboarding. I would never go bungee jumping. So, but if that's what you want to do, great. It's up. It doesn't help for somebody to tell you what to do.
yeah,
It has to come from inside. It has to come from your heart. And so that the coaching is really about asking a lot of questions and pulling out the information from people and from women. And the light bulbs go on and the discoveries. It's so much fun to watch.
yeah. So I think if we continuously live in our own bubble and we only talk to the people that we know and know us, I don't think that's the hotbed of reinvention, because what
Mhm.
tends to happen is like the same patterns evolve. People that have only seen you this way are able to see they might not even see you in another capacity, like as an author or as an artist or as a coach, because they never seen you that way. So I think that's the risk. If you try to reinvent yourself in your existing environment, you're not going to outgrow your existing environment. That's why it's so important to talk to people who are going to challenge that thinking and ask you questions that nobody has ever asked you before, and create that space for you to dream of something else.
I think that's so true because your peers or your friends, they may not be on board with this.
Mm.
And you may be interested in doing all these things, and they may look at you like, what's wrong with you? And there's sometimes your spouse. My spouse sometimes is like, what are you doing? I mean, he's very encouraging, but I think it has to come from inside. And it may mean finding a new group or finding a group of mentors or finding a group like Women Thrive that you feel supported and you feel you're around other women who are like-minded and excited to do whatever they can with the rest of their lives. So sometimes you do outgrow people and sometimes people just don't get it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so inspiring when we've recently hosted a retreat in Valencia, and it was several of the ladies, and most of them were in sort of later stages in their lives. And it was so amazing. Even after we finished the retreat and I was on my way back to my home, I was driving and thinking to myself, wow, like just spending that week surrounded
Mhm.
these amazing visionary women. So not only they walked away from us challenging them and their visions, but they allowed me to think and envision even bigger things and opportunities. So it's like when you find yourself in that collective and having the conversations that challenges your thinking and what's possible for you, and it's like collective growth, collective expansion. So I found that really, really interesting and truly inspiring because we get to do that. You can co-create, you can expand your vision when you start those conversations, and you kind of break the pattern of just doing things that there's more to life than that. And I'm excited for the women who get to go on to that journey and explore a bit further.
No, absolutely. And I think it helps to be around like-minded women. And one of the things I'm doing is when I release my course is also have a community
Yeah.
with it so that you're part of a community where you meet other women in online, can talk, ask questions, exchange ideas. I think that's so important because if your peer group is not necessarily on board with what you're doing, that shouldn't stop you. It shouldn't stop you at all from maximizing your life the best way you can.
Yeah. So you mentioned this program. How do people kind of find out about it, or how does it work?
Well, I'm in the process of finishing, so it's not available yet, but I will put it out there on social media. Plus, I will add it on my website, which is juliewaas.com, JULIEWAAS.com. I also have a YouTube channel called Midlife Unleashed with Julie Waas, and I'll be talking about it on there as well and putting links. And once it's up and running, I will put the links so that if anybody wants to purchase it, they can, as well as my books. Right now, my morning journal is called Unstoppable Mornings,
Hmm.
is available on Amazon. And my book, The Midlife Reboot, will be available soon. We're in the pre-launch phase. I'm just finishing up the social media posts that are going to be used for the pre-launch. So I'm excited about that. So there'll be a lot coming soon. And hopefully by the time we get to the summit, I can have more information about that.
Well, how exciting. Honestly, I'm like in awe of you just doing this work, because there's not many people that would just be like, okay, I'm gonna start coaching after you already had a successful career, and it's like stepping into this new season of your life to do these exciting things.
Well, it's all about helping others. I feel like that's just, if I can help one woman, it doesn't have to be 100 women. If I just one at a time and make sure that they are happy and live their best life and that's all that matters to me is I want to make sure everybody's doing okay.
Yeah, amazing. I'm really excited about your new book coming. Judy, you're going to be one of our speakers at the Women Thrive Summit. What can our attendees expect?
Well, I'm going to actually, my talk is called the Midlife Reboot. And so I'm not only going to go through my story and talk about that, but also provide exercises for women to do while we're online during the summit and to start the process of beginning that next phase and thinking about things and coming up with some ideas so that they can hopefully leave the talk with some concrete ideas and maybe some affirmations that they can use on a daily basis to help them move forward.
Yeah, amazing. Julie, once again, where do people find you? What is your favorite social media channel where you hang out?
I'm on Instagram and Facebook, both under it's julie.waas on Instagram. Facebook, I think it's Julie Waas, or you can find me if you just look for me on Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn and I'm on YouTube with my Midlife Unleashed with Julie Waas YouTube channel. I try to add a new episode every week, so there are quite a few up there right now, so they can look for me there. They can find me at my website, juliewass.com, or look for me on Amazon for my books.
Amazing. I'm so excited for just women to discover you and what you do and kind of just tap into that conversation. I think the more of these conversations we can have, the less of taboo of a subject that is for women to
Absolutely.
reinvent themselves in the later stages of their lives.
Absolutely. It's never, you're not too old and it's not too late.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm excited to have you at the Women Thrive Summit. So, for all of our listeners, if you haven't saved your spot for the Women Thrive Summit, it is happening 16th to the 20th of March in 2026. Go ahead to womenthrivesummit.com, register for your free spot. There's opportunities for you to also upgrade if you wanted additional bonuses and replay access. But be there, be part of these phenomenal conversations, the experience, the connections. You'll be able to meet our speakers and hear their inspiring talks. And that's where the magic happens, the connections happens, the inspiration you get to be poured into and plant. You get our speakers are here to plant some seeds for you to grow. And I know that everyone who has ever attended the Women Thrive Summit has truly came out transformed and thriving in their careers and lives. So I hope you get to be there this year. Julie, thank you for sharing your story. I hope you continue to tick off all these amazing things off your bucket list and also inspire so many women just by doing what you do, by being who you are and continue to advocate for your message. So I really appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the invitation.
Thank you. To all of our listeners, make sure you check out Julie's links in the show notes. So all the links mentioned will be available at inside the show notes so you can follow her, connect with her. And if you did get to hear this episode, make sure you share it with somebody else because you never know who may need to hear it. And just send her a message and say, hey, I've seen you on a Women Thrive podcast. I'm here to connect with you. So all of our speakers and guests are really open to having those conversations in the DMs and emails, whatever is the best way for you to connect. Sometimes just starting off the conversation, you never know where it could take you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks to our lovely guest today. And we look forward to seeing you on another episode. Take care for now. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Women Thrive Podcast. I'm so thankful for you as a listener for spending time with us, myself and my co-host Abigail, to hear our conversations with our guests. If you have had the opportunity to hear our podcast, do make sure you leave a review and share this episode with your audience as well. This has helped us reach the 5 top % globally ranked podcast, as well as reach more than 30,000 downloads to date. Your support means so much to us, and this is how we get to reach more people around the world. At Women Thrive Media, we're here to amplify voices of women and empower women to take the center stage and shine a spotlight on their messages.